Hey everyone, I am Flag05 and I would like to show a quick tutorial on how to speedrun matches in Heroes of the Storm. Now as a disclaimer, the only real reason that you're going to be speedrunning a game here in Heroes of the Storm is to clear out a daily quest and get that precious gold so that you don't let numerous daily quests build up to the point where you cannot get new ones on a day. In addition to that, for example, maybe you want the Festive Treasure Goblin mount here in Wintervale 2016, but you missed out and you started playing pretty late into the event and you need to complete a lot of these games to finish the event off and get that mount. Playing through and completing quests very quickly can be done by speedrunning versus AI matches. It will not make you better at this game. Arguably, it will probably make you a lot worse at this game because you get lazy and you're trying to push through and beat a match within probably about 5 minutes or so. But as a free-to-play player, I have been able to unlock a vast majority of the hero roster simply by building up my gold and then spending my in-game currency, this gold, on actual characters rather than, my real money. So, to do this, primarily what you will want to use is Sylvanas if you have her. Sylvanas is a Warcraft specialist character, so depending on what type of quests you have, she may work very, very well. But she pushes lanes extremely efficiently due to her Black Arrows ability. Now this ability means that any basic attacks or any abilities that you use stun enemy minions and structures. You won't really use mercenaries when you are trying to get through a match very quickly, but all of those towers, those forts, those keeps, those things that do a ton of damage to your team, your minions, and your heroes, you can lock those things down using Sylvanas. So obviously, quest permitting, if you can use Sylvanas, you can typically clear most maps within about 5 to 6 minutes. So if you have a time constraint, that's going to be very, very beneficial. So to set up the match itself, if you've never played versus AI, it's up here on the play bar, all the way here on the left. And if you have, you'll notice that there are numerous different difficulty levels here on versus AI, going from beginner all the way up to elite. If you are speedrunning, crank that bad boy all the way down to beginner. Make sure that you are co-oping, so you are playing with other players going against AI opponents, and that will take care of the quests themselves. So once you are on versus AI, you have selected beginner as the difficulty and co-op, and you have your hero of choice depending on the quest itself. Go ahead and hit ready, and we will jump into a game. Alright, so for an example here we have Sky Temple, and Sky Temple has 3 lanes and a boss. The boss is connected essentially here to this bottom lane, and the boss will spawn at 3 minutes. So the goal here is to pile as many heroes as possible, ideally all 5 if you are speedrunning, into this bottom lane, the one that's attached to the boss, and attack it. Push that lane with everything you have. If you are playing with Sylvanas, make sure to lock down the enemy structures that do damage. So lock down this fort, come up here, lock up this tower, and shoot back and forth to keep both of them from firing on your team. So once you take down this fort, keep on pushing. Take out the outer fortifications here, both towers, wall, take down this keep, and then this tower right here. And if everything is going according to plan, you should be finishing all of this up right around the 2:30 mark or so, and it'll give you just enough time to wander over here back to the boss. Like I said, the boss spawns at 3 minutes. If all 5 members attack that boss, it's pretty easy to take down, and then you just roll with the boss, and you can take care of the core with the boss, and it's honestly extremely fast. So, any map that has a boss, you can do this exact same strategy. So, out of the 12 different maps available in the game, 5 of them have a boss. Sky Temple's boss is on the bottom lane. Same with Blackheart's Bay. Tomb of the Spider Queen, the boss is in the top lane. Warhead Junction has a boss in both the top and the bottom lane, so push whichever one. It's kind of your call. And then in terms of Cursed Hollow, there is a boss in the bottom and the top lane, but you'll want to take the one in the top lane because honestly it's just a little bit faster because it's closer to the enemy core. So once you take down the fort, you take down the keep, try to rally your team members to meet over here by the boss. See, we still have plenty of time. And once you hit that 3-minute mark, the boss will spawn, take the boss, and then you clear it. So let's just increase the speed here. Like I said, once you have all 5 members, the boss is not that strong at 3 minutes anyways, but neither are you. So you capture that boss, and just push with it. Take care of all the enemy heroes as they are in vain trying to attempt to slow you down. And then once the boss gets up to the core, just go ahead and go all in on that core. And you'll be able to take care of it pretty fast. This speedrun right here on Sky Temple is taking less than 5 minutes. And like I said, if you have Sylvanas, that's where you can get those sub 5-minute times. You can still do this without Sylvanas, but it is going to take a little bit longer because you can't shut down the enemy damage. Alright, so now that we have covered how to speedrun maps that have bosses on them, I'd like to take just a short amount of time to discuss how to take care of maps that don't have the bosses. For example, Towers of Doom is kind of a hard one to speedrun, but with a little bit of coordination, you can take care of it pretty easily, actually. Ideally, what you want to do is either start at the top or the bottom, pile all into one lane, and push until you get the fort. And then leave one person, one hero, up at the top or bottom, whichever one you choose, to defend that fort, and the other 4 continue on. And then you just rinse and repeat once you go take the third one. And then go ahead and just grab as many altars as possible, but once you have control over all 6 of the actual towers in the map, then you can take care of the map pretty quickly. I'm going to lump the next 2 maps in together. Both Braxis Holdout as well as Infernal Shrines, you kind of need to get lucky in terms of speedrunning these at a very fast pace. For the most part, you're going to want to just ball up in one lane, either the top or the bottom, and push as much as possible before the Zerglings come in. And so hopefully if you're pushing on the bottom, the Zerg horde will spawn on the bottom, just like in this example right here. So you can take the fort, you can take the keep here in the bottom lane, then go and summon the Zerg, and you'll be able to push and win. It's the same thing for Infernal Shrines. I tend to try and push the middle lane and hope that the middle lane gets the first Infernal Shrine itself, and so then you can go ahead and push with the Punisher and ideally take it out pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're just going to have to play the objectives and try to knock out all of the buildings as fast as you can. The final 2 maps that I want to go into detail on are Garden of Terror as well as Dragonshire. And the exact same strategy can be used for both maps. Basically, just push the middle lane, take the fort, keep on pushing, take the keep, and then retreat. Send somebody up to take the top shrine, take the bottom shrine, then have another person grab the dragon, unleash that dragon as well as your team on the core, and you'll win. It's the same thing for Garden of Terror, just replace the shrines themselves with the garden seeds, spawn the Garden Terror, and then go ahead and take out the enemy core. And that's all you really need to do. As for the final two maps, both Battlefield of Eternity as well as the recently revamped Haunted Mines, you're basically just going to have to play the objectives on that. With it being beginner, you can rush things a little bit, but they are going to take a little bit longer, simply due to the map objectives themselves and the lack of a boss. But like I said before, again, as this disclaimer, this isn't really used for anything aside from clearing out daily quests quickly, and that's really all it should be used for. But that I guess wraps it all up. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, any kind of feedback, please leave that below. And thanks again for watching.